so happy to see you here. And I would like to stress that you made the right decision to participate in this session, because just in 20 minutes you will know how to save several hours every week for the productive work, how to be much more productive than you were before. My name is Rustam. We will make this presentation together with my colleague.
Hi, guys.
Vladimir. The main reason why we are staying here in front of you is that we have a lot of experience in development tools. We even created one of the best IDE for Salesforce development ever, the Welkin Suite, that is used by thousands of developers in this world right now, and they already changed their life. But today we are talking about admins, not developers, right? I know several development tools for developers. I know at least 5 IDEs. I know several cool features for deployment, for debugging, for troubleshooting, for this, a lot of different purposes. But what about administrators? What about you admins? How many tools you have? Setup UI and 50 extensions for Chrome, right? And is it fair? I don't think so. Developers participated to projects from the enterprise level usually, right? But you admins participated to any kind of Salesforce project, to any Salesforce instance. Any organization requires some admin work, but you don't have proper applications. And what kind of tools you usually? What kind of problems you usually face in? What kind of problems you have? A lot of clicks for the simple actions. There is no possibility to use actions in bulk mode, and dependency from the development team. I will make a few examples. Do you remember how many clicks you need in order to change field level security for one single field? 8 clicks and reload 6 pages. Impressive. How many time you need in order to assign permission sets? You remember how many time you spend in order to assign permission sets for the simple organization? 20 permission sets and 20 users. And a few more examples. For example, create a SOQL query for account, or create a scheduled job that should be run every 15 minutes. How much time you will spend for this? Or even much more interesting case. Imagine Friday evening, 10 minutes before end of your working day, you work hard, of course, but already start thinking how you will meet with your mates in closer pub. And then you get that urgent task. In this time, all the tasks usually urgent, right? And what kind of task you get? It's from, of course, finance department. They need to make a big report for big boss, and you need to create several fields, assign some security, so on and so forth. So the description of the task on the screen. Let's consider this task in more detailed technical way. Volodya, what kind of things you need to do in order to complete this task?
Okay, in general, it's pretty simple. It doesn't look like any a complex task. So we need 3 new fields. We need to add all of them to layouts. We need to set up proper FLS. We need to create a validation rule. We need to deploy this to a sandbox, and we need to deploy this to production in 10 minutes.
Is it possible? Could you please hands up who thinks that is possible? No hands. OK. It's possible. And in the next 10 minutes, we will show you how to do this within 10 minutes. We spent several months during this year. We created special admins IDE using as a basis our Welkin Suite IDE. And right now, Vladimir will show how it works. Volodya, please.
OK. And just to be fair, yeah, as you've seen here, challenge accepted. So I even started stopwatch, so all of us will see this. So I will put it somewhere here, right from the very beginning. I don't hurry up. So I open the Welkin Suite IDE. Right now it looks a bit scary because it's in the developer mode. I've just done a demo on our booth, so I'll switch to the admin mode. Confirm selection. So we have a special admin mode where everything is tied up for admins. What do you see here? The main thing of the admin mode is admin panel, which shows you all of your S objects with all of their fields, layouts, workflow rules, and validation rules. I have found my employee object, and I can see what fields I have in this object. I don't have needed ones. Let's do this. So I right-click on the object and select Fields in S-Objects Inspector. This leads me to our S-Objects editor, where I can create new fields. So let me create a new one. I need salary field, so it should be currency. Let it be 16.2. Done. Now I need my field for salary change. And again, let it be 16.2. And also I need a datetime field for date of last salary review. Done. Press the Save and Deploy button, and the change will get to Salesforce.
1 minute 30. Fields are created.
We're still waiting for Salesforce. At the same time, you see that I'm deploying an object because I've done some changes to the object. OK, who cares? Let's see. Now, it's interesting thing that the most time in this demo we will spend on waiting for Salesforce's replies. So I will do, yep, deploy succeeded. So the most time I really spend talking with you instead of doing something. Now I need to add them to layouts. I switch to the Layouts tab. And what I see here, I see unassigned only fields. So I don't need to go through all the fields. I have only one layout. And I'll just make all of them editable. Let it be this way. And also I'll put all of them to the financial info section. Done. OK, save and deploy. Again, talking with you and wait. Yeah, OK, sorry, it changed something else. So I'll just refresh back to Salesforce settings. And now I even do it this way. Created by ID, I make it read-only. I've just changed it accidentally.
OK.
OK, with my mistake, it's 3 minutes. Not yet. Another mistake. OK, we're all people. It's required. One more attempt. You know, I'm still not worried because we'll fit in 10 minutes, even with all of this stuff. OK, while it's deploying, I can switch to the FLS tab. Still not the same. OK, last modified by it. I love Salesforce because it shows me errors one by one, but still save and deploy. At the same time, I will open FLS tab, so it will retrieve all the data from Salesforce. And in this tab, on the left side, I see all of my fields for the object, and on top, I see all of my profiles. So while it's still deploying changes to Salesforce, yep, successfully. I return back to my requirements, and let's see. So salary and salary change should be forbidden for everyone except the final. Salary review, read-only for everybody. OK, unassigned fields. I make salary review date read-only for everyone. This field's forbidden for everyone. Now, with quick actions, I select everything and select my financial department profiles and provide them full access to these fields. That's it. Now I'm applying these changes to my sandbox. While it's being applied, I will proceed working on the validation rules. So I will get back to the...
I would like to say a few words here. So right now, within a few clicks, we assigned all the security settings for the 5 fields. So you...
3 fields.
3 fields, sorry, yeah. You could see how many times we spent for this. Just a few seconds Vladimir spent for this action.
OK, so let's proceed. I have here validation rule only one, so I need to create a new validation rule. I will use XML editor just to copy-paste it. And I will enter error message. So can be changed for disabled employees. And still deploying because Wi-Fi here, due to the number of all of us here, is a bit slow. But still it's deploying. I'm not blocked. I can proceed working. So yep, it's refreshing now. All's good. So in the admin panel, I press refresh button, return back to employee, select my validation rule. And instead of going to Salesforce and manually clicking in the setup UI all of my rules, I have a built-in editor in the admin panel which allows me to enter validation rules with code completion much easier. How? This way. And is active and is changed and not is active.
Vladimir, 6 minutes already.
Don't worry. No, just sorry. So here is my validation rule. I've done with it. Save it. Yes. And now I just go to Solution Explorer and deploy. So it will deploy my validation rule as well to Salesforce. So in 6 minutes and 40 seconds, I will get everything done on Sandbox. And now I need to apply the same stuff for the production environment. It will be extremely easy for everything except of FLS. Let me show you. Again, while still being deployed to the Sandbox, done. I right-click on my project, select Deploy to Organization, select here Production Environment, press Next. This will compare me the list of metadata on organizations. Now in the search box, I just enter employee. I have custom object, and I've also modified the layout for employee. Nothing else. Next. Run local tests. Yep, that's it. Let's wait for how long it will take for Salesforce to deploy it. I don't know. On our preparations, it took less than a minute sometimes. But in this case, it can take up to a minute. So as I said, it will be very easy to deploy everything except of you see, it's done. Except of field level security. I don't know how about you guys, how do you deploy FLS, but if you do it via change sets, and if you include profiles into your change sets, there's always a huge chance that there is something else you'll get to that profile, and you'll deploy something not needed. Otherwise, you can use undeployment tool. It will be the same. So usually we end up doing the same FLS settings on production on our own. What I will do here, I return back to my FLS tab in the IDE, press export, and we'll save this as a JSON file. At the same time, I go to the production project here in my IDE. I again open the account object, but from the production environment. Switch to the FLS tab, so it will retrieve from the Salesforce all the actual list of fields and profiles. You see there is a whole bunch of other fields here, but I don't care about them. No, it's not account, sorry. It's employee. No worries, no problems. So again, select FLS. We are retrieving information about fields and profiles. Now I press import. Select my JSON file. You see that settings were applied exactly how I've done this on Sandbox. And I press apply. Once this is done, I'm ready to go to the pub to my friends. So I've done
Just
everything.
8 minutes.
Not yet, not yet, 9. So this is how things are done, and this was kind of simple stuff, but we do this stuff all the time. And in case if you need to do something even more complex, we have so much cool tools that if you're an advanced admin that you master the tool, you save so much time with it. We're done 9.5 minutes, and we still have 5 minutes to talk and show you something.
Yes, and I would like you to show the SOQL query editor. So because it's one thing that is so annoying for me to write down this so long SOQL queries and with nobody remember what is the field name, so on and so forth. So
right from the admin panel, again, it's my main dashboard. I don't leave it. So I press generate SOQL query, and the IDE will allow you to select the fields that you'd like to select with just, let me show it, hide it, with just clicks. So you select what items you'd like to select. You can even include some subqueries. For example, for my account, I want to get information about some of the cases. and some of the contacts. This builds me a query. Now I can execute it. I see that I have 5,000 items in the organization. I see all of them. I can examine them, understand what is the data, what are the reasons of something not working. I can even export it to a CSV file to share it with somebody. By the way, the last thing I want to show you, as we were talking about the field level security and admin stuff, we have the same approach here working for permission set assignments. So I will just select my project, open permission set assignments, and instead of using like Chrome extensions or App Exchange packages, you have the same in the IDE, the same approach here. Users, permission sets, quick actions, bulk applies, filters. You can do all of the most common admin stuff right here in the IDE.
So
that's it, I believe, from my side.
Yeah, that's not maybe it, because we have much more cool admin features here. You show the validation rules editor. We have a workflow rules editors integrated as well. We didn't show the possibility to edit permission sets themselves. We didn't show much more cool features that can be used by admins. For instance, anonymous Apex runs that can be sometimes used, or scheduled jobs editor as well. So there are a lot of different features that we have, and if you're interested on, you can visit our booth here in this area, and we will perform a detailed presentation for you. But just to summarize, what you could see here today, you could see the tool that allows you to perform day-to-day jobs very quickly with a proper, useful way that allows you to perform bulk operations, that perform your make actions with a few clicks. But that's not end. We are going to proceed, and we are going to implement new and new features for the not just developers but admins as well. We are going to implement new functional modules. What else? A formula editor, I believe.
For formulas, for assignment rules, I believe for visual flows, maybe. Not sure yet.
OK, great. Also, I know that we plan to implement a really cool feature. It's a debugger for workflows and validation rules. Allow you to debug not just Apex, but rules, rule by rule, one by one. Allow you to see in debug mode how these rules are working and where the problem is. We also are going to implement new features related to Salesforce DX, just to allow you do not teach this command line interfaces for Salesforce DX, but just use it within the development team. And I would like to remind you one cool thing. This tool is just an extension. This tool also can be used by developers, and that's a great opportunity to you to work with the same tool like developers with you in your team. So, and talk on the same language. Use the same tool for the same purposes, to see log files in the using one tool, and do not have any miscommunications between each other.
But like the main points that we'd like to implement is like new additional advanced flows for admins. Like I've shown one of them. You see that even like with my mistakes, it spent like 9 minutes. So like we are very open for any suggestions from the admin community, from the awesome admins. Our booth is somewhere there. So if you have some cool ideas, or if you know if something will help in your admin life, like we are very open for this, and we will implement this for sure in one of the next releases.
Of course, because releases of our application appears every 2 or 3 weeks, and our tool is just growing and adding value each day. So, and if you need, so download and try to use. So that's pretty much it. Thank you. And if you have maybe questions, we will be able to talk with you somewhere here.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.